Hey guys, in today's video of Impossible Mowers, we are going to be seeing if we can't get this Husqvarna dialed in for the 4th of July. Now, some of you guys might remember, and if you're new to, if you're new to this channel, you'll just find out here in a minute, but if you've been on this channel, you guys all know the transmission makes a really metal-to-metal chain scratchy noise. It's not very good. And I've been running it for a few months, just kind of thinking maybe it's, I don't know, something getting worn out here or something. But I don't know what it is, and I'm going to take a whim and say that's low on fluid. So hopefully I haven't done too much damage with it running it, because, you get sounds like that and you keep running them, you just never know, right? So pretty much today we're going to drop the transmission, change the fluid, hopefully fix that. I'll show you guys how to do that too. And then do an oil change, throw some new spark plugs at it, maybe change up the hood a little bit, make it a little nicer, and call it a day, because this thing really doesn't need that much, but that transmission does worry me a bit. So to start off with, we've got 3 quarts. It should take 2, maybe not even, maybe 1.5, but I got 3 quarts just in case of Valvoline 20W50. You don't have to use Valvoline, but you should use a 50 weight oil. That's what the manufacturer says on the manual for this rig. This is a Husqvarna YTH 1542 with the Kawasaki twin and the hydrostatic trans. So that's what it said to use, any 50 weight oil. So I chose the Valvoline stuff, also because it was on sale. I got it for like $4 a quart. So figured why not. So I guess what we'll do is we'll jack it up, put on some jack stands, get these tires off, and start digging in. Alrighty guys, so got all jacked up with jack stands, so we're good to go. Start with the easiest things first, getting these clips inside the wheels out using needle nose pliers. Let's see what we can't do here. Bam, just like that. Nice. Should just slide right off. There's our washers. Always want to, there it is. Make sure you keep track of the Allen key. We do not want to lose that. It looks like I'll have to grab out the vacuum cleaner because, whoo, dirty. Look at that. Keep that tire over there. Oh my goodness. That's about 2 years of service on the mountain here. All right. That's why we have a shop vac. Now, one thing I am not looking forward to, hopefully it's simple, but it's different on all the automatics, the lever system. Hopefully that's well. I'm hoping it's just as simple as maybe a linkage or 2 with a pin, call it a day, but you never know. Each transmission's different. And at least just have a gander here, see what we're looking at as far as things go. All right. This is the pin for that guy, so that'll be easy to take out. Oh my goodness, there's a lot going on there. Oh dear. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, it looks like, at least from my perspective, it's one lever for the gas pedal. And then maybe the clutch lever. So 2 levers. Okay. Alright. That shouldn't be too bad. On to the next tire. Probably do that one off camera. It's pretty tight in there. But forgot to tell you guys, you are going to need a drill for this. I'll explain to you why when we drop the transmission, but don't forget that. Alrighty guys, now there's a few things you want to be careful about when taking these transmissions out. First things first, you have a lever over here. That is your brake release. So pretty much it makes it so that when you push the pin in or out, it'll make it so that you can push it or have it in gear. You can see on this diagram here, if you were to pull it out, putting it in this position here, you can then put it in neutral, and then if you push up back into its hole right in here like that, then you can be able to push it, not push it, it'll keep the hydrostatic pressure and put it in gear essentially. But there's a few things a few other things you want to be careful of. Number one, there is a linkage going from the transmission to your forward and reverse pedals. You do want to be careful about that. I'm not seeing a way to take that pin out. There's a pin right on the inside the frame here, which is kind of smart. They took all the lines and stuff, even the fuel lines, and it runs up along the frame, which is pretty smart because it saves me the trouble of having to make a skid plate like what we do with Chuck here, for the fuel lines, but for the transmission and stuff, and more essentially the linkages and stuff. So, but you do want to be careful. I'm not seeing a way for that pin to come out other than dropping the transmission and finding a good angle for me to get in there. So we're going to try that. But essentially it's 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on that side, and there should be 1 or 2 bolts in the front holding the transmission from that end. And then, like I said, it's just about linkages. This guy in the back, foot throttle, not foot throttle, geez, the forward and reverse pedal, and then possibly the clutch. It's different. Some rigs have the clutch linkage hooked up to the transmission for brakes, and some rigs have the clutch linkage hooked up to the idler system, which then pulls another lever to the brakes. So it's kind of different on a lot of these rigs, but I mean, we'll just dig in and see what we find. I do know the procedure because I have done it before for adding and replacing the fluid for these. I'll be showing you guys that, but what is not the same for me is the way that these transmissions are, how they're hooked up, how they're not. So I mean, we'll be learning together as far as that goes, but I say we dig in and just see what damage we can do here, see what we can't clean out and get done. So when I turn the camera back on, we're going to be getting ready to impact these out, impact the fronts out, see what we can do. Alrighty guys, I got a piece of cardboard underneath the transmission here so that we can guide it down, or, you know, Lord forbid, if it just drops down uncontrollably, it's not going to land on anything solid. It's going to land on something smushy like cardboard, so we don't break anything. But I got a 1/2-inch socket. I'm probably going to come in from the bottom with the impact. Yeah. Make sure it's on the loosening stroke, which is actually maybe the top. I have room. Oh yeah, I got plenty of room. Okay. So we got that. So 1/2-inch socket with a 13mm wrench. Maybe? Yeah. Okay. Now notice I'm not going to take these off completely. The reason why is if I take all 4 of these bolts off completely, that transmission will drop. So I'm going to take them off probably about quarter before off. So roughly a little before halfway, so that the transmission will gradually drop, and then when I go to finish them off, I can take my hands, pick up the transmission, and bring it down slowly, because I also don't know if there's any wiring or plugs that maybe we missed or we don't see, so we do want to be careful of that. So yeah, good. Next one here, Let's see what we can do here. Right there. Transmission is starting to get low. That is good. Let us head over to the other side. Pardon the dirtiness. That you guys got to remember. I mean, if you guys have been on the channel long enough, you know we've absolutely thrashed this thing in mud. So this is to be expected. And pardon the dirt if it falls on the camera. Okay. Come on now. Go. Okay. And maybe a little more. All right. So now you guys can see, looks like we have a spacer here. Don't want to lose that. Looks like we have a plastic spacer there. Yep, plastic spacer here. Good, good, good. But you can see how it's gradually dropping. We want to be able to do this the right way and not damage the pump. The pump is right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Get you up close. We do not want to drop any of this uncontrollably if we can try, because that will do some damage. Now, it is preferable to use a Daytona or just regular car jack to put under there, so you can kind of ease it down with a jack at least. Or you can do it the way I'm doing it. Use my feet, just kind of very slowly guide it down. These things aren't terribly heavy, so it's, they don't weigh anything like 400 pounds. So if it was any heavier, I'd use the jack. But these bottle jacks, I mean, they're cheap. I gotta get a car jack in here. That'll be a very near purchase here for these types of projects. So, alrighty. Now, let's see. Before we drop that transmission, we want to see if there's any other extra stuff. I'm seeing these wires here. I go down to here. What is that about? See if you guys can see that. Get a light over here. That'd probably help. Alright. See, there's a wire right there. Right there. But I don't know. Interesting. I also spotted this. I do believe, I haven't touched this brake system ever since I got it, but if there were teeth on here before, I'm not seeing a keyway. It looks like the teeth are completely gone. That is just useless. Probably just leave that there. You don't need brakes anyways. Okay. Not seeing any extra surprises. Kind of looks simple. I'm gonna leave the belt on purposely. Well, you know what? No, we should probably take that belt off. I'm just now seeing, forgot about the plastic fans. Okay, I'm gonna cut the camera off here, take the belt off the plastic fan, pretty much just take the belt off, and then drop the transmission and see what we see. Whew! Alrighty guys, got the transmission out. Couple of pointers I just want to show you guys. Number one, be careful with him. This transmission was dropping very slowly and then it caught on this pin, but I was able to unhook it and get it out. Another thing to watch out for, these specific transmissions have a plug that runs through the frame and connects right up to here. So just make sure you unplug that. The belt, of course, right? Make sure you watch the fans on the transmission. You want to make sure you don't break those. What else? Oh yes, the transmission also had two bolts in the front right here. Thought it was just one, but it was two. My bad. And then I think that was it. Yeah, so just be careful about that. Transmission was able to drop right out for me, so definitely got lucky on that deal. So now let's pick up our bolts, make sure we don't lose those, our nuts and bolts. Put those aside. Alrighty, so out of here. Let's see what we have. Whoo! See, we got 2 fins missing. That's a usual. Usually when you're off-roading with these hydrostatics, you lose them. I'm seeing this here. I don't know if that's a screw-on or something. Looks loose. Ah, that is a screw-on. Okay. Noticing this guy's looking a little loose, so I just figured I'd screw him back on, plug him back in. Wow. Sticks, debris. Oh yeah. She's had it all. Wow. Yucky. Yep, there's our little pump. That's what makes it all happen right there. Okay. So somewheres here, there should be a drain or a fill plug for us to drain. I'm seeing something's wet under this pulley here. If that's it, maybe that explains why she could be making noise. Now let's take this off. Let's take this pulley off here, or not the pulley, the fan here, because I'm wondering if it's leaking from somewhere, if the transmission's leaking from somewhere, maybe from an off-roading incident or something, and that's why it's been making these noises. Nice to have the right, yeah, okay. What is that? That is a 3/4 inch. Oh, she almost wanted to come off. Okay. Actually looks pretty alright. It's a little damp here. This is where the seal is. It's looking alright. It was probably slowly leaking from here over time. But if that's the case, it took a long, I think I had this rig for about 2 years. So it's taken a long time for that to leak. So that's good. Alright, I guess we'll put this back on here. That guy. That guy. Oops. Let's see. He goes first. Then this guy goes. Here we go. And this guy goes on. Sorry for the wait, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, good. Alright, now where is the drain plug? Or the fill plug? Should be at the top here somewheres. Interesting. Give me a second to find this. I don't want to make this YouTube video too long, so I'll be right back when I find it. Alrighty guys, found the fill plug right here. I stripped it pretty good. Look at that. Definitely stripped that one pretty bad. I got a good fix for this. What I'm going to do is, I was able to get it with these pliers by just really getting in from the side, and see now it's turning. it's coming with. What I'm gonna do is see if I can't find a nut or not a nut, a bolt that's about the same diameter, and replace that instead. Yep. See how it's got an O-ring right there? So, or what I'll do is try to recondition this one. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, so there's that. And I'm seeing here there's fluid, which is good. It tells me we did not run this thing dry out of fluid, which was my biggest fear. So I'm going to take my socket here and I'm going to spin this around. There's no air in the system. Interesting. So now I'm going to check the fluid. Just going to grab an Allen key, just dip it in there. We got plenty of fluid. I will say it does not smell good, and I'm seeing I'm seeing plenty of shavings. This trans could be cooked. Could be cooked. But I mean, nonetheless, I'm gonna try to drain it here and see, you know, just at least try to do a fluid change on it while I'm here. When I put the fluid in, I'll turn the camera back on and show you guys the procedure to bleed these. Usually what you do is you empty this, right? You fill this up with oil, and these should take about 1 quart to 2 quarts. And you keep spinning. You attach a drill or an impact and just lightly spin this around nice and fast, and you pull this forward. You pull this bracket forward and backward, as far forward and as far backward as you can, to bleed that air out, because once you have that cap on, it's got that seal on it. So if it's sealed and you're running it, you're not going to have a forward and reverse because there's air. Or what'll happen is you'll be driving and it'll drive and then stop driving and then drive and then stop driving and drive and go slow, and then it'll keep doing that because it's running the fluid and then finding a pocket of air, stopping, and then re-picking up the fluid and keep going. So don't worry about that. We'll show you how to do that. Hopefully this stops the screeching. I'm not too sure though. That's a good amount of fluid in there. So I mean, if it ends up us needing a new transmission, hey, you know, just see how long we can get this one to last, and we got plenty of spares, so I'm not too worried. But alright, well, I guess we'll get right to it. Alrighty guys, so I've got you set up here on the camera so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing, exactly the way I'm doing it. We've officially drained out the oil. Let me give you guys just a quick look. It smells pretty metallic, and doesn't look very good. So you're now going to fill it up with good stuff. Remember, 50 weight. Jeez, if I could show the weight, Christ. 50 weight. As far as company goes, I don't know. I just kind of picked Valvoline. You can do it that way, or you can just choose Mobil 1 or whatever. I'm not too sure actually if there's a specific preference, but I'm sure this will do. So I'm filling it up. I'm going to go about 1.5 quarts and see where she sits. If this doesn't fix the noises, then most likely what's happening is there's an internal problem, maybe a chain that's been worn down really good from use, and at that point it's just internal, and we'll just run it and just keep going until she blows. So I always want to make sure you get the most out you can out of your oil these days. Alright, so that's about 1 quart. Putting in extra 1.5 quarts here. Here comes the half. Gonna stop. Actually, I'm gonna add a little more. A little extra. Gonna stop right there. Okay, yep, definitely gotta go more. What you can see is, I'll show you guys here so you guys can get a good view. You want the oil just above the bottom of that plug. So you can see here how the plug hole goes down and then you can see the whole transmission. You want the oil to be just touching the end of the threaded plug hole. That's kind of the ballpark you're looking at. So we will keep going here. Actually, I'll just show you guys instead of putting you over there. This will officially be about 2 quarts, but I'm going to keep going little by little. Now remember, you're going to be putting in this oil, but when you go to air out the system, it's going to drain the oil a little bit because oil is getting into the pump, it's getting into all the gears and the synchros. So you're going to have to keep filling it even after you air the system. So let's see where we're at now. We're getting there. Not there yet. Keep going. I'm going to put this whole second quart in. Let that really drip. Make sure we really get every bit of that oil. Okay. Check and see where we're at. Alright, I think we're just about there. Good thing I got that 3rd quart. Yep, just about there. Almost there, yeah. So, this is why every time you do an oil change with, and this goes for vehicles too, if the manufacturer says 6 quarts, get 7. If it says 3, do 4. Always do 1 or 2 quarts more, because even if you don't end up using that quart, you can rest assured knowing I got that extra bottle there. Should I need it in the future or should I need it now, you know? So, same thing applies with this situation. You do not want to end up putting in only 2 quarts, like in my position, and then finding out, oh, you know what? I needed that extra 1.5 quarts, you know? So I'm going to put in 1/2 quart, because I figured it'd be 2.5 quarts, because that's what it was for my 6-speed. So I'm going to baby it. Do little by little here. We're almost there, almost there. Oh, okay. Overfilled it. Yep, okay. Alright. That's okay. So you can see how it's overfilled, right? See how it's right at the top? It's actually still draining, because it's all getting into the places. But watch this. Turn my flashlight off so I don't drain battery. Okay. So you guys can see how it's still overfilled. Put my drill, or in my case impact, up to it. See how it's all going down? So I'd say that's about good. I wouldn't want to add any more oil. So now I get to show you guys what our process is. I'm actually going to turn the camera off and clean up around here. You see I spilled a little bit of oil right here, but nothing bad. So I'll be right back after I do that. Alrighty guys, get the camera situated. Perfect. I ended up switching over to the drill. I just wanted it to be a little better. Got a little attachment here to my little socket. So I'm gonna do it like that, and I'm gonna pull this forward and backward, and then we'll check the fluid. Here we go. right, so I don't know if you guys could see that, but the transaxle did not move until it came up with a couple bubbles, and then it started moving. That's because there's air coming through this pump, and it's not going to run this transmission on just air. No, no, no. This has to be able to flush the fluid through the pump, deliver it to the galleys and everywhere, and then through pressure, it just kind of moves all that oil around, and then with your little lever here, you get that forward and backward response through your transaxles. Now, with manuals, it's a different game. They don't do that. They will spin regardless whether they have oil or not. The oil is more there just to cool. These transmissions serve two purposes with the oil. They cool it down, but they're also one of the key components to running the transmission. No oil, no movement. So if you're low on oil, your movement's going to be slow. There's going to be noises. You're going to have bad oil like that. It's just not going to be fun all around. So that's pretty much the way you do it, guys. Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now, I put some kitty litter on the ground here because, excuse me, you know, the oil. So I'm going to vacuum that up, clean up way better here. Definitely get some cleaning up here. As far as oil level goes, it's perfect. I didn't see it. It dropped perfectly from the top of this filler straight down. So I couldn't have asked for a better job. All I'm going to do now is pretty much put the cap back on. I know it's a shitty looking cap, but it'll do. It's Impossible mowers. We always make it work. And yeah, so next time you see this camera rolling, that transmission will be installed, and I'll be showing you guys the pointers. And what I'll do is I'll install the transmission, but I won't install the linkages, just so I can show you guys specifically which linkage you'll be getting caught up on, because that is pretty important. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could bend a linkage, which will affect your speed. If your drive linkage, which you have your forward and reverse pedal linkage, if that gets bent because you're dropping your transmission, you forget it and you bend it, it will affect your drivability. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty, guys. So I'm going to quickly show you here what to be careful of specifically. Alrighty, get underneath here, get a light. Okay, you're going to want to be very, very, very careful about this guy right here. Okay, when you're putting the transmission up, it likes to get caught right in here. So you can see this guy right here. He likes to get caught up right in here. Just be very careful about that. One thing that's pretty common is you end up bending stuff in this area over here, the most important drive part area, because this is where like 80% of your rod's linkages go. And it's like I said before, if you're setting this in improperly, or if you're not watching it, you go to bolt this transmission in, you bend a rod, you know, now you got to remove the transmission again, you got to take out the rod, rebend it. It's a big thing, so just be careful. These two rods in particular, mainly this one when you're installing it, just be careful about that. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. I'm going to put this belt back on, and then we'll put the tires back on and see what we got. So we'll probably jack it up and or leave it on the jack stands and try it out, so see what happens. Alrighty, guys, figured I'd end the day here by giving it out at least a bit of a test drive. I drove it out of the shop and it's still doing that chain noise, so it might just be the way the beast is. Just gonna have to run it out. If the trans blows, well, we got spares. So let's see what we got here. Oops. Yeah, that negative terminal is a wee bit iffy, so I might have to do that next. Yeah, I think the battery's just so old, so worn out. Come on, I have to give it 2 hands here. Sorry if you're not seeing much. There we go. Wiggle the negative a bit. And then I gotta do some stuff with the hood, fix that up a little bit, but I figured while I'm down here I'll show you guys. It rides right along this trail here, but it's a lot more complex, and we made it that way for a special reason for the 4th of July, but I'm not going to say anything. The challenges we have for this rig on the 4th of July with these welded axle shafts, I think it's going to be perfect. Well, there we have it, folks. That hood popped up for a minute because I saw a branch came up and just walloped it, but I do have to fix this kind of stuff. Some tedious stuff. This part right here, it's not quite catching well. But off camera a few days ago, I figured I'd give this thing an oil change, do it right. And so she's pretty much dialed, new plugs up front. Check this out. Oh yeah, nice and fresh. And that's the terminal I'm telling you guys about. It's just beating the hell. I need a new battery. Well, very good, guys. That is it for today's video. I mean, all in all, I kind of had a feeling I wasn't going to fix the problem, but I figured there might be that one guy out there that needs this transmission to be, has the same transmission and needs it to be refilled with oil, and that guy might not know what to do and how to do it. So I figured if it's not going to be useful in the sense that it's going to work, it can at least be useful in the sense that I can at least show you guys how to do it. And I guess it does work because, you know, I'm able to go forward, I'm able to go reverse, you know, so it's pretty simple. Just all about bleeding it and doing it right and getting it down. So as far as 4th of July goes, this thing's pretty much done. Other than the hood, just cleaning it up pretty much, making it look a little more pretty. That's pretty much it. This thing's just about done mechanically. This thing's finished that problem. If it's a bearing, it's not gonna destroy itself now, but it's just gonna wear out over time until it breaks. And then when it breaks is when we will have to replace the transmission, but who knows? I mean, I've been running it like this for about 4 months now, so they're just built tough. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, we are almost at 500 subs. Woo! Can you believe it? Wow, you guys are awesome. I love you all. Thank you so much for subscribing. It truly means a lot to me. I'm not just saying that just to make it seem like it doesn't mean anything. It's truly awesome. I really appreciate that. And yeah, so I hope you all stay safe, and I'll catch you guys next time. This is Impossible Mowers out.